Hey guys, Zora here. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Last time we kicked off episode 3, case 3, however you want to say it, the adventure of the moving room. I believe that's what it's called. Let me take a look. The adventure of the runaway room. It's close enough. Anyways, we're finally in Great Britain. We're in London, and we just finished talking to the Lord Chief Justice, Mr. Strongheart. I actually forgot your first name, even though I just said it like a few minutes ago. But yeah, we pleaded with him, saying that even though Mr. Yurasaki is no longer living, and that the study tour would be gone, we could have Naruhodo stand in as a lawyer with like 40 days of knowledge and 1 trial as experience. But yeah, so he gave us a test, and by test I mean something kind of forced, because this person doesn't have any defense attorney to help him out. So yeah, we're gonna move over to the Old Bailey, which I guess is the Old Bailey's London's highest criminal court with an illustrated past. Yeah, so this is where I'm gonna take the test to see whether or not I'm worthy to be a lawyer. But regardless, like, this defendant doesn't have anyone, so it's gonna leave a really bad taste in our mouth if something happens to this person. Oh, thank goodness. We're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were gonna rattle loose. Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver. And there's a guinea in it for you. What is a guinea? Am I seeing it right? Because I know it's spelled very similar to guinea pigs. Is it a guinea or guinea? I'm guessing it's money. British pound money. Anyways, it's one of my favorite lines from the Sherlock Holmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die, and we had to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started. Yes, I suppose there's that. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all. So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants to wait is grand. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air. Almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. It feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed. I mean, you were the suspect in both the first and the second episode, so I don't really blame you, sir. Yes, whoever the man you're about to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment. Top of the morning to you, madam. Sir? What are you doing? Follow me here. Things are fair desperate, are they? Oh, God. I'm just having struggles trying to talk. I might be trying to make an accent, but I guarantee mostly it's just like I'm trying to see if I'm saying the words correctly. Sorry? Would you look at those expressionless faces? From the east, are you? We're from Japan, yes. Ah, Japan, is it? Right. Say no more. So? How much do you need? No. We're just here because... No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so have I. No place to go! Nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name, and all while in a strange faraway land. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. 'Tis grand, 'tis grand! Let me start by giving you 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now. 1,000 guineas? Please, Mr. Sato, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo. What? Oh yeah, that's a shiny little gold piece right there. Tis nothing to me at all. I'd like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I have enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. I don't know what kind of voice I need to give you, sir, and it's aggravating me. Could that much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. Oh! Ah! Hit me in the eye! Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to you no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Oh? To be honest, 'tis a little embarrassing. The trial that's about to begin, you see, is for me good self here. I'll be in the dock. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh well, the thing is, don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me. Nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial's gonna start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Flustering blazes! Do yous not know who I am? Me? One of London's biggest names? No. Sorry. We've only just arrived in the city, you see? I see. I suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park there in the center of London is another beautiful park. Sorry? A park? What? 'Tis called McGill Park. Full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, so I did. An entire park? In central London? A city of smiles. That's my vision for London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city's queer people. That is not your name! I'm sorry. There may be some things that I've forgotten, but I sure as heck have not forgotten your name. I'm pretty sure your name was Magundal Cosmos, or Cosmos Magundal. It'll be on the screen. I know this name very well, mind you. Whether I don't know what the references is from the fan translated name to this name, but honestly, I believe what he says about the park thing. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. Also, if I accidentally say the wrong name, you're gonna have to forgive me. Ah, but now they've the gall to say that I'm a good-for-nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. What is the matter with the London police, I ask ya? Alright, don't pass out. Mr. Naruhodo. Perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath. Good idea. Mr. McGilded. The thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see? That is a lot of huffing and puffing, my sir. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands. But what was I after saying, you daft idiot? I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry? I know what you're thinking. This Chancellor of Aphellis claims to have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can't he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it! That's the only explanation! Well? Well... No. Not at all! Although it is a little strange, to be honest. Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean? That would be the fault of the Reaper. Sorry? Did he just say Reaper? Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Barrack Van Zeeks. Is it Barrack Von Zeeks? Barrack Von Zeeks? I think it's Barrack Von Zeeks. Van Zeeks. Whatever. He's the prosecutor. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? When Van Zeeks stands for the prosecution, they call the accursed his sacrificial lambs. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So it reaches to the desperate situation, where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fellow at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Goodness, Lord Barrack Von Zeeks. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. Talented isn't the word you're looking for, ma'am. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? The defendant is summoned, and his counsel. Please make your way into the courtroom. The trial is about to begin. His counsel. That would be me. Oh, 'tis time. Well done, fella. Don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. Until you showed your face here, I'd made up me mind, so I had. Sorry? I decided I had to defend myself in there. How would have that worked? But then you made an appearance. A student of law, wouldn't you know? His face is like awfully wrinkly in this new version. 'Tis no accident, I can assure you of that. 'Tis fate. So don't get cold feet now, please. His button is clipping into his scarf. I literally know nothing about this case, or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Mr. Naruhodo. The man has no one. He has to stand alone in the courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes. Something that Cosmo would never have allowed to happen. Counsel for the defense! What are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand. I'll be right there. It's happening then. My first trial in the British courtroom. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. I can only imagine what's going through his poor brain. That's fire. That's actually kind of low rendered fire. but whatever. So this is the highest court in Great Britain, the Old Bailey. The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different to the Supreme Court in Japan. It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. May I say something, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes! What? Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again. I know, but I just can't help it. Hi, Santa. He looks like Santa, I'm sorry. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. I am not gonna do a good voice for you. I'm sorry, Von Zeeks. The prosecution is fully prepared. That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld. He looks like Dracula. Just say it out loud. He looks like Dracula. Counsel for the defense. You appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English? Huh? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. But he asked if the defense was ready. I couldn't be further from ready if I tried. Those eyes pleased me. Nipponese. Wait, is that the same? I don't think that's the same thing that he called Naruhodo before. Mata! They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. Ugh. A cold shiver just ran down my spine all the way to the tips of my toes. Now, Mr. McGilded. Yes, my lord. You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner? As I've always said, my lord, 'tis a grand thing to give opportunities to the young. Even if the fella is a student from some little island off in the Far East. Is it not the British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance? I'd like to think that acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud. Listen to Mr. McGilded! What a fine gentleman, London. Oh my god, they are saying words at a really fast pace! Mother, may we please go and play McGilded Park? It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded. That's definitely welcoming news. He certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him. Eloquently put, Mr. McGilded. And most launderable sentiments. Launderable, whatever. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed? Yes, my lord! If the task is to send rotters to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready. At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree. Ha! Any criminals here will soon be wishing they never set eyes on me! I feel a chill.
Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. Must finish these mitts for my grandson.
Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Those people are... the jury, yes. That's something we don't have in Japan yet. That's right. I've only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view. But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict? That I don't know, but I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses. Yes. Prosecutor Von Zeeks. My lord, it's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you've renounced your fame. I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. So, what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstance of which the court should be aware? I leave that to your imagination, my lord. So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose today of all days to make a comeback? Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruhodo. As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please. Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity. You must be the only ones in here who aren't aware. The incident took place in the late evening. 3 days passed. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as Thrice-Fired Mason. Sorry? Thrice? He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible. Ugh. The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time. A dagger that has been thrusted into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard. Thank you, counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence. And there we go, we got our first few pieces of evidence. And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well. And these are... Good lord! Is that blood, counsel? Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested. What? Mr. McGilden's gloves had blood on them? Yes, I will accept these as evidence as well. I really should try to pick a different voice for the judge. And basing it off of the one from the first case. How did I get into this? I'm backed into a corner before I even started. Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time. Only 2? Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilded. Well, rather damning circumstances to say the least. Defendant, what say you?
Well, of course I have no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGilded! To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness and I always succumb to it.
Are you claiming to have been asleep?
'Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord. Lilting so it is, and when I opened my eyes again, 'twas a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I'd never laid eyes on before in me life. Now I ask yous, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand.
So the blood got onto the gloves then, after the man had been killed. Unfortunately, that statement of the driver's is only the beginning.
What?
That's not all of it. There are multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed. Order! Wait, is that really how order is spelled in Britain? There's no way. So, some words in English, the spelling is a little bit different. I think the most obvious one is like something like center and center, which will be on the screen right here, where you change up the ERs. I've never seen order, unless they're just they added that A in there to emphasize the accent. I don't know. When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused was inside the carriage, and there were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused. Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime has been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all. Your wish is my command. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once. Witnesses, your names and occupations.
My name is... well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End.
Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city.
My name's First. Lady First.
I hate Ace Attorney, man. Lady First. I, make hats for gents. Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witnessed to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Quite right?
Yes, sir. That's right, sir.
Very well then. Let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw.